You know that flapping thing you were doing with your mouth just then?
You mean expressing my opinion?
Yeah, that. No more of that.
Hi y'all! Before I get into the mix of things, I'd like to state a content/trigger warning that there will be mentions of SA in this video as we delve into certain topics. So if that's something you're not comfortable with, feel free to vacate. My feelings won't be hurt. I'll catch you in the next video. Alright then, so this video is actually inspired by a lot of the discourse around Dandadan over on TikTok in relation to episodes 12's ending. And it sparked an interesting conversation amongst how SA is depicted overall with women, and the treatment of girls depicted in anime and media just overall as a whole. And like in the previous video I made before, my opinion still stands true. I still believe women in a lot of anime are still treated very much in a fetishized way, like objects of affection, or just there for desire. To the point when something weird or despicable happens to a female character, it kind of just becomes normalized in one phrase, and that is, that's just how anime is. Which, like, no? At first, I'm not saying that's what Dandadan did. I'm not really entirely sure since I've never watched it. I'm gonna be like, for real, like many, I was turned off from watching the series, seeing the clips of the very first episode. Not gonna show it here, cause well, if you know, you know. Though I don't think that's so much of me or folks being too sensitive. I feel like one of the big reasons it might get a huge side eye is because anime historically has done this not in good faith, or to create some sort of type of understanding. So understandably, it makes folks very apprehensive and skeptical. Like, I don't know if anyone else had these type of situations, but recently, as I've gotten older, there are animes I just cannot stand to rewatch, or will turn off as soon as I see any of these backwater tropes. Now, I'm not claiming to be an expert in no way, so I'd like to give my 2 cents, because to me it's been like mind-boggling how quick people are to defend it. Like, I know we've been declining as a society for a while now, but man, there's a common arguments that usually folks can separate fiction from reality, which I think is true to a certain extent, but some people don't realize that's like a two-way street, and fiction could still very much affect that perception of that reality, in a way of like making us numb to things that we would once have considered very horrendous. It's like the line is constantly being pushed again and again and again until we as consumers just proceed to not bat an eye to it anymore. We're just made numb. I've heard the phrase of, well, X anime isn't as bad as Y anime as a way to justify something pretty problematic happening on screen. And I'm sitting here shocked, like, did you not just hear yourself? I don't think it's entirely unfair to say we shouldn't be ignorant to what sort of harmful perceptions anime can perpetuate. People will be quick to say, well, you just lack media literacy, as like when we have issues with something that's pretty borderline like pedophilic, like an instance for Lolicon. And then I'm like, ooh, my brother in Christ. That is straight up CP. And I feel like that's like a conversation I really shouldn't even have to have with anyone on the internet or in person. Like, I think that's just common sense and common decency. Which is why I think it's very important to acknowledge that storytelling in itself can be very influential and establish these like harmful rhetorics and biases relating to perceptions, people, cultures, and much more. For example, the biggest lie, though subtle, being that rabbits like eat carrots. Yeah, guess what? Not true. They can't eat them like in the bundles and like by the bunches, because it actually gives them digestive problems. Like, they can only have them as like small little treats. Though man, I wonder how everyone got that idea. But real talk, I'm not saying there needs to be a media police, though what I am saying is we gotta acknowledge, especially now that with anime coming into the mainstream media, there is a bit of some harmful rhetoric and sort of ideas that it's bringing along with it. Like, actually, while doing a bit of research, I found like anime's sort of effect in Japan. It states that like it's contributed to like actually a lot of fetishization, over sexualization, and infantilization of a lot of Asian women. And I'm not sure if it would be a stretch to say, like, with anime now becoming more in the public eye, being consumed by more, that it could prove to be problematic for women in other countries as well. Even though we already have our fair share of issues going on right now. I know no one goes to anime to be taught how to be a decent human being. That's like common sense. Though there certainly are those that go to reaffirm some harmful beliefs. And there are plenty there to make them feel right at home. And I think that's a little bit of a red flag. And while on this topic, I want to say there are like a lot of anime that plays into this narrative of having sympathy for the creeps. It goes something along the lines of, oh, they're creepy because they're lonely. Oh, they had a traumatic past. They were never loved. Etc, etc, etc. Which is a big nuh-uh. Not an excuse. I just hate the trope of where they use female characters' discomfort to further a male main character's development. Like, I get livid every time I see it. And then, every time within these scenarios, the main character participating in the assault is played down by the supporting cast as a haha, yo, you rapscallion, as if they did not just grope their love interest. And then, while then said love interest completely forgets about consistently being assaulted by the main character because, oh, they saved their life, or oh, they're really strong, or something, long bond, whatever. My girl, Eris, you deserve so much better. But personally, that couldn't be me. If a man wanted to do all those things to me, and even if they just figured out the whole cure to cancer, I'd still have a 30-foot restraining order on them. Number blocked for eternity. And now, lastly, some of these animes be coming up with the most diabolical, disgusting character designs I've ever seen in my entire life. To the point I'm like, yeah, they had a fetish. The thing is, there's nothing inherently like sexual about like a woman having bigger breasts, or say that woman being also short. It's the fact that they take it about 9 notches too far. You know what? Guess what, guys? I'm about to doodle it for you. I'm going to show you. Alright. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna start with making her like 4 foot tall. Cute face. Very childlike. Can't have her looking too old. Humongous boobs. Tiny waist, cause her breasts can suspend themselves perfectly fine. Big hips. Big thighs. And oh, yeah, did I mention C16? Oh wait. Oh yeah, I forgot. I gotta add the love interest. Okay. Here we go. And here we have Pale Plain Mickey. Look at them. Aren't they a beautiful couple? No? Don't like this one? Don't worry, guys. I got you. I got something even better. Here, we'll start with a little boy. 16 years old. He just looks 11, okay? Okay. Then we'll have their love interest. Just a little thing over here. Over, and then a little thing right here. And, oh, whoops. They look like a grown woman. But I mean, they're supposed to be the same age, guys. I promise. Now be for real. This looks horrendous. And specifically, well, let's be honest, guys, designed for a certain gaze. Cause, what? That doesn't even look appealing in any objective way that I could find. I'll say this is why I appreciate Arcane so much. Their designs were pretty in the sense like they let their natural features show and bring out beauty in their own way. They weren't these polished supermodels, but like they look like faces that belong to actual people. And no, that's not me saying, no, you have to draw a character in that certain way or else. All I'm doing is just really pointing out the absurdity of these designs, especially with underage characters, and just saying, like, yeah, they don't look good. They don't look nice, and there's many examples of designs that do look nice. So, to wrap things up, my argument here, if you can really even call it that, I'm really just yapping. You're not like an awful person if you watch anime or anime with these tropes. It's the fact that, hey, people are going to continue to consume it, whether we like it or not, problematic or not. But we can't be so ignorant to not recognize that these tropes do participate in harmful normalizations. I think that's a pretty fair deal, yeah? And with that said, tell me your thoughts down below, give a like if you can, and see you in the next video. Bye!